Hello again everyone, my name's Optec of Drollbane Europe and welcome to my Warlock point of view raid guides. In this guide I'm going to go over the encounter Maloriak on heroic difficulty. Now as a slight change to most of my video guides, I'm going to be raiding as Demonology for this fight. Demonology is highly recommended for this fight due to the high amount of AoE damage required. Maloriak gains an additional ability in phase 1. This is where Nefarian throws a dark vial into the cauldron. This is separate from the blue and red vials. He always casts this one first, and this will cause Maloriak to run to the centre of the room and summon a bunch of slime adds. These do a move that puts a puddle under players, and that puddle does a lot of stacking damage. Basically, as soon as those adds spawn, we're going to want to transform into our demon form, make sure our Felguard goes AoE crazy, activate our Immolation Aura, and get into Hellfiring mode. Whilst Immolation Aura is up, you're going to want to hug these adds, but bear in mind that being as the black puddles get placed underneath you, make sure you're not in front of the person who's kiting them. It can be very tricky to stay out of the pools during this bit. Try and minimise the damage you take and make it easier on your healers. Always be mindful of where the adds are going. And remember, don't get in front of them. For AoE here, basically I'm just hellfiring until Shadow Flame comes off cooldown, then using Shadow Flame. When my pet's Fellstorm comes off cooldown, try and drop a Hand of Gul'dan on the mob at the front, and then use that. If you use your Immolation Aura, as soon as you transform into demon form, you can get another 6 seconds off. Provided you've got the glyph, that is. As soon as that bit's over, it goes into the normal phase 1, only with a lot more damage. Being as I'm uncertain which vial's going to be chosen, I'm just hugging. It makes it easier if it is a red vial, and it is. So if it's the red vial, make sure you really hug up. As a Warlock here, don't forget you can use Shadow Flame at this range. Now I highly recommend saving your cooldowns for the AoE in the green phase. You can use your pet's Fellstorm and things like that. I really wouldn't recommend it. Make sure you've got Hand of Gul'dan, Fellstorm and Metamorphosis off cooldown for every green phase. As before, like on normal mode, he just goes blue or red, followed by the one he didn't do, followed by green. So you can see switching to blue, which means we need to spread out. You can see our tank gathering up the adds there. See our other Warlock was a bit naughty there and started Shadow Flaming them. Just before the phase change hits, you should move yourself and your pet over to the adds and get ready to start using all of your AoE cooldowns. You only have about 10 seconds to do as much damage as possible on the adds. As I've got Metamorphosis form up and all of my cooldowns, this should be enough. However, if it isn't enough, you've always got the Infernal you can summon. You can see I transform, jump in. I wouldn't always recommend stunning like I did there, but I've done it. Start your Immolation Aura up before the green ooze goes off, and then Shadow Flame and immediately Hellfire. Shadow Flame does an enormous amount of damage here as well, don't forget it. See a nice bit of lag there. See, we didn't quite get the pack down, so we're just going to pick up the stragglers. And after this, the fight just repeats. Until phase 2, that is. So now this is just like when you pull the boss. He's going to go and use his dark. Now you won't have Metamorphosis off cooldown because you will have just used it, which means you're going to have to deal with this set of adds without Metamorphosis. Now in this instance we had the other Warlock uses Infernal on this pack, and I saved mine for the second set of Abomination adds. As before, Hellfire and follow the melee pack. This second set can be tricky to get down as not everyone has their AoE cooldowns. If you are a DPS class without strong AoE, make sure you single target the ads, making sure of course that you switch targets if you do start to gain aggro. I say this should be obvious, but you do get some DPS who peel them off. You can see there again I used my hand of cooldown and then used the Felguard's Fellstorm. That is a really large DPS increase. I recommend you do that. Use Fellstorm wisely. And we're lucky, it went red again, so make sure you hug up in front. I'm a little bit too far away there, I should be a bit closer. Everyone needs to be able to get under a Discipline Priest bubble. My slight criticism of demonology is, although AoE is a lot of fun on this fight, it's that the single target rotation when there's only one mob really is very, very boring. Might just be in my own personal opinion, but so as before, we spread out for the blue phase. Here, because the boss is close to a transition, we call the DPS halt, so I've just pulled off and I'm waiting for the phase transition to go start AoEing the ads. I've moved my Felguard over. You can see transition's just coming now, so I transform, Immolation Aura, get my Shadow Flame off. In fact, now I ready my Infernal, and as soon as the green goes off, the Infernal comes down, hits for silly damage, Immolation Aura, Hellfire, Shadow Flame, everything dies. Nothing better than demo AoE. And now we push into the final phase. In the final phase he no longer chucks the potions into the cauldron, but he does however gain a bunch of new abilities. As a DPS, basically this means you'll be hugging in the centre of the room, your tank should be kiting around the outside of the room. I think I DC'd here, so I had to use a second film. So this is Decimate phase, so Demo gets Soul Fires, cast nice and quickly. Worth noting you should still cast Incinerates when you get Molten Core procs like I just did there. Now in this phase basically you should be standing away from those blue orbs you can see falling down. The tank should be taking care of the frontal cone ability by kiting around the room. The DPS only has to look out for these blue orbs. If you stand near one you'll take lots and lots of damage and get knocked back. There goes one. It's quite easy to panic in this phase, but try and remain calm. Rely on others to do their jobs correctly, and make sure you watch out for yourself. Although having said that, I'm fairly sure I fail in a second. Oh, there we go, blue orb, and I'm not moving, bang, and it's gone. I was lucky that didn't kill me. That's probably because I'm a Warlock and I've got Soul Link up, so. It's worth noting you do get an awesome title for killing this guy. You become the slayer of stupid, incompetent and something minions. It's a hilariously massive title. It's given to you every time you kill the boss. You get it's a 30-minute debuff. Anyways, that's been my guide to Maloriak Heroic. Thank you for watching. My name has been Optec of Trollbane Europe. Cheers.